Welcome back, piglets, to another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. We are your ever so gracious hosts, Daniel, Sam, and Taylor B. Kicking it right off, jumping right off from the gun, we're going to be talking about movies now. First and foremost, I know you guys know about Batman. You know, we just talked about Joker last episode. This episode, we're talking about the Batman, you know, his arch nemesis, you know. The one person that's ever so foils his plans, you know. Unfortunately, it's Robert Pattinson. I don't really mess with that character or that person, but I mean, if y'all do, you know, that's on you. But
I mean, he hasn't done anything wrong. He was just
he ain't done nothing wrong.
one of the people from Twilight that, you know, every girl in 2008 onwards was like totally in love with.
Which I still don't get. I don't
don't understand too. He was just a spark. He was a sparkle, a human sparkler. That's all it was. Was it because he was brooding the whole time?
Probably.
Just looking depressed.
Maybe that's why I don't think he'll be a good Batman.
Maybe
if he just has like that same look, but like no sparkles, then I'll be like, oh, this works.
I think like Playboy billionaire Bruce Wayne, I think he'll do excellent. But
do you think they're gonna give him a tan?
No.
You just gonna leave him pale?
Just leave him pale. Leave him pale.
Yo,
it's Gotham,
man. Because he only goes out at night or something. They're gonna be like, oh, that's why he's so pale.
Yeah.
Wow. Yo. Anyway, moving on from there, it looks like the Batman, or the Robert Pattinson's Batman, has founded Selena Kyle, which means that there's going to be a Catwoman in the movie. The Catwoman's going to be played by Zoe Kravitz, the daughter of Lenny Kravitz. She's also the daughter of
Lisa Bonet.
There you go. All right, she was on the Huxtables. You know, the
Slap Yourself. All
right, there you go. We'll knock that out the way. Anyway, after that brain fart, she's
probably a pill or something.
Anyways, she's a talented actress. I believe she was in, what have I seen her in? I'm trying to think right off the top of my head.
Pretty Little Liars. I think it's the one thing she's played in.
She was in a movie recently with like a bunch of other female stars. It wasn't Bad Moms. And they're making a part 2 of it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, we're terrible at this. Anyways, just bear with us, guys. All right. So moving on from there, evidently Jonah Hill is not going to be a part of the movie. Unfortunately, they weren't able to solidify, you know, a contract or negotiate on the terms or whatever. So he's not going to be a part of the movie. A lot of people thought, you know, he was going to play the Riddler. But now we have someone new playing the Riddler. We have Paul Dano as the Riddler. Dano. Okay. Dano
bites.
Isn't that supposed to be like how vowels work or something? I don't know. Anyway, congratulations, Paul. He's been in a couple movies that Sunny informed me about because I did not remember at all. He was in Little Miss Sunshine. He was the older brother, and he was also in the Swiss Army Man, to which I want to just go ahead and say that the reason why I think of Daniel Radcliffe for that movie is because it is not called The Man Who Uses the Swiss Army Man. It is called Swiss Army Man. So I think of Daniel Radcliffe whenever I think of that movie. But anyway, he was pretty great at both of those movies, actually. Little Miss Sunshine is probably one of my favorite movies, to be honest. And Swiss Army Man was just a really good movie to watch. It made you feel really good. You know, he kind of goes on an adventure and he's kind of like, it's seemingly like he's crazy. And at the end, he wasn't actually crazy, right? Or did I have that messed up?
I think
because they thought he was crazy at first, right?
It was delusional from the weather, the sun, and all that.
But then I thought at the end, doesn't like Daniel like activate again or something?
Yeah, he activates. He goes away.
So he wasn't just crazy, but for a second there, I was like, oh crap, is he crazy?
Right, you gotta check myself real quick.
Yeah, no, I might be tripping. I don't know. I'm not trying to find a dead body and just start playing with it and breaking all kind of stuff, you know?
Smash his head.
Yeah, that movie was wild, but it was a fun movie. Are you guys excited for this movie at all? I don't think we've really gone down, like talked about if we're excited for this movie coming. And quick side note really fast, I also hear that it's based off the story The Long Halloween. I don't know for sure, obviously, because I'm not part of the creative team or anything like that. So, but that's rumor. But
I'm definitely more excited for it now that it's not going to be Jonah Hill. Like, I don't know who's, like we said, we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago about him being discussed as being the Riddler and all that, and I definitely wasn't for it. I can't take him seriously. You can't give me Superbad and 21 Jump Street and be like, yo, I'm gonna be the Riddler. Like, nah, you can't make that jump with me, fam.
Facts.
So I'm never gonna take you serious. But I feel like this would be a better fit. You know, he's definitely looks like a younger person that could fit in with Robert Pattinson and all that. So I'm definitely more excited to see this one.
I'm a Batman fan because, you know, there's something about
mental illness,
the rich taking upon themselves to save their city by not donating or funding things that can actually help save their city. So I'm glad I'm going to get to see a young rich kid dressed in black fly around, pinning up like people on the streets that come from an impoverished area that just had enough of it. It's gonna be awesome. I love it. Fucking America.
Batman is full of mental illness. Jeez, man.
No, in all honesty, I do love Batman. It's because he's smart and, he's a cool character. He doesn't have powers. But when you get to the bottom line of it, it's I'm a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist
Okay, Tony
that
Stark.
likes to dress up at night and beat the crap out of petty criminals.
Yeah, until the super mutants start coming
Exactly.
into town, and now you got to really think of some creative ways to deal with those guys.
Oh,
it's a good thing I have all this money to spend on these gadgets.
amen.
Me myself, I'm fairly excited just to see. I just want to see their take on it, with the current DCEU Batman. We kind of got an older take, and which in my opinion kind of sucks because it's like I've always wanted to see a Robin in these films. For the DC side of things, I've always been obsessed with like secondary characters, sidekicks. I think they're like so much cooler just because they are supposed to be like their older counterparts, Robin to Batman, Aqualad to Aquaman, Superboy to Superman. But most of the time they have something that kind of hinders them and their growth. Like Superboy, I think he can't fly right away, or some iterations he can't fly. Some iterations he may not have heat vision or something, but or he's just like overall weaker because he's just a clone. He's not really like an actual Kryptonian or whatever. Same thing for Kid Flash or something. Wally West is not as fast as Barry Allen, or Robin is not as talented as Bruce, because unless it's like Damian, well, not even Damian Wayne, because he's like that kid's messed up too. But like nobody's as good as Bruce Wayne, obviously. So they try to make Damian Wayne. But like Nightwing isn't necessarily as good as him. Jason Todd's not as good as him. He mostly bests these guys whenever they have any kind of altercations or whatever. So I've always just thought that was really cool. And they're younger too, so they're more relatable for me. I'm not going to relate to a guy in his 30s or 40s, beating up criminals. I'll relate more to like the guy that's in his 20s, maybe even like when I was younger, a teenager or a kid possibly, fighting crime.
I mean, I know a lot of 30, 40, 50-year-olds that can throw them hands. Like, let's just be honest.
For sure. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like for the time frame, like when I really got introduced to that stuff, it was easier for me to relate to Robin or like the younger like sidekicks because they're usually younger, and they don't have as much experience, So it's like I'm thinking like, oh, like I could be Robin, I can't be Batman because I'm just a boy still,
Yeah, I feel you. But with this movie though, before they announced like who's playing who, I was really praying that they would give me a good incarnation of Scarecrow. I was really hoping for it.
Yeah, he didn't really do much in the Batman Begins.
No, he didn't. It was just like a little blah scene.
It was more like Ra's al Ghul, right?
Yeah, but it's like I want a Scarecrow that is a threat.
Yeah.
Like how they did Scarecrow in the Arkham series, how it began off in this little whatever restaurant and he has the power to get on. It's like, this is just a small sample of my latest concoction.
Yeah.
I'm going to release the whole thing tomorrow. If you don't want to be part of this, get out the city. And everybody leaves the city because he's that scary. He's a threat. But the movies aren't giving us that. I thought, it'll be a good thing to see.
I thought his brief moment in The Dark Knight was cool. Like in the beginning, he like fights the fake Batman.
Yeah.
He fights a Scarecrow and like they're trying to make a deal and he stops him real quick. I thought that was cool because like, in comic books, they're always fighting the same bad guys. They're somehow escaping and having to deal with them over and over again. So it was kind of cool to see like, that's basically what that was. The bad guy escaped. Now Batman's got to deal with him again,
Yeah.
But this time he knows what to do because he's already dealt with him before.
Yeah. Well, it's like, Batman is a dark series. It has a lot of mental health things in there. And you don't really get to see Batman battle his demons.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get to see his fears and whatnot. Scarecrow gives us a chance to see Batman with his demons.
Yeah.
At least on TV, on the big silver screen,
Outside of the bats, from the beginning when he fell down the well and all that. Yeah, we get to see who he really is, his real fears from deep down in his soul, more so than just the outer realm of who he is.
Yeah, exactly. And Scarecrow's a badass. Like, why don't you want to see a little horror in your movie along with the whole Batman swinging from the skyscrapers?
Yeah, that's kind of the point I was making with Mysterio and Spider-Man. I know. I just committed a cardinal sin. I mentioned Marvel and DC
in the same sentence.
I know, but I feel like they have, between those two characters, are very similar as far as what they can do. And I feel like they have the great opportunity, like how you're saying, to develop that character and to really show how menacing he can actually be on the mind, not so much as in the physical.
Yeah. And the Batman is a good character because he always overcomes Scarecrow anyways, but it's a little struggle, he has to remind himself why I am Billy Badass. It's a good thing to see characters struggling with their inner selves, but then again, that's why people didn't like the Joker. It's because they don't want to see a character deal with their own mental one way or another. They just want to see the light-hearted action. And I don't know how they're going to do Riddler unless Riddler kidnaps somebody, and now Batman and Catwoman has to figure out how they're gonna get these people back by doing the puzzles and the riddles that the Riddler would lay out. So if anything, we might be seeing Detective Batman over Dark Knight Batman.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Real quick too, did you guys think that Jim Carrey was a good Riddler?
I think Jim Carrey was a really good Riddler.
I liked him just simply how crazy he was.
Super zany.
But that's him in every movie, so that's not really saying anything, I guess.
Yeah. It was like being Ace Ventura, but in a Batman movie, basically.
Pretty much.
He was like real zany. That was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
But I do want to say I do applaud them picking Zoe Kravitz for it. Because no one's been Catwoman since Halle Berry.
No. Anne Hathaway.
Oh, Anne Hathaway. Okay, I'm sorry. I missed that Catwoman. I'm sorry.
That was the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't really like that movie.
Yeah, I missed that one. Especially after they messed up Wonder Woman. I'm really happy they actually made the right decision here. Like, I shut down all of these decisions people make. You hear every time somebody picks something for a movie, I'm like, nah, that's terrible. Pick something else. But I really like them picking her because she has to be sexy, she has to be confident, she has to have that exotic look, and she has to have the right attitude for it. And I feel like she can present that better than anyone. So I'm really excited to see her really take this leap in her career.
For sure.
That, and we get to see a father-daughter on screen together in the DC universe. Jason Momoa is her stepdad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, honestly, he's only 10 years. He's only 10 years older than her,
That's
but
crazy.
Still.
Oh man. Moving on from there, in other movie news, The Matrix 4. I know we're all super excited to see that. Neil Patrick Harris apparently lands a role. There's no news about who he's going to be playing or what he's going to be doing exactly. But the only other sci-fi film that I can remember him being in was Starship Troopers. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah. He was in that movie for like a total of like 5 minutes.
Was he like psychic or something?
Yeah,
like
he was
that,
a
right?
sidekick. He was like the intelligence leader. He could sense. He was making the Weasel go mess with his mom.
Yeah, it was weird. It was super weird. But I'm excited. Neil Patrick Harris is just like, he's one of those actors that I feel like is like a fun person to be around. So whenever I see him in something, I'm just like, I feel like he was just so like, I look at him and I feel like this was probably a funny moment or like a pleasant experience. Like nobody, I feel like he doesn't cause any issues for anybody, and that overall the experience and seeing him in the films, usually he's funny. He's not usually a serious person. So I'm sure he'll probably be some sort of comic relief in the movie. Hopefully he doesn't just die right away in this first movie that he's coming out in, for the Matrix franchise at least. And overall, I'm excited. I'm just excited to see what the film is even going to be about, As soon as we get some synopsises or anything of that nature, some kind of details. Can I get a picture of Neo as a freaking, what's his name? John Wick, in the movie? I don't know how I forget the guy's name.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, there you go. Keanu Reeves. Yeah. I don't know why that name escaped me. I kept wanting to call him Sean something. This is weird.
Sean.
That's definitely not his name. Yeah, I don't know where I'm getting that name from. But yeah, The Matrix 4. I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
Not really.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought 3 was enough.
Well, I mean, for sure, but I mean, like, if people are gonna this is to me like one of those stories that if they're gonna go ahead and push it forward, I just want to see what happens at least. Hopefully it's not a burning a freaking train wreck, which is like that's what happens 9 times out of 10 for like when movies keep going on and on and on. I mean, great example of that, Star Wars. Another great example of that. I want to say Fast and Furious, but it's like
X-Men.
Some things are cool. X-Men. There's a lot of movies that like are not good at just making consistent sequels all the time, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Like freaking X-Men Apocalypse was not good. The Dark Phoenix was not good, but Logan, that was a great film. X-Men Days of Future Past, that was a good film. Same thing for Fast and Furious. It's like the whole movie isn't bad. It's just that like most of the story is a little bit ridiculous. It's obviously a different story than it was from the very beginning, and for a while that they were doing like they're doing great things as far as like the fight scenes were concerned. We had The Rock versus Vin Diesel. Oh my gosh, this is super cool. We just had Paul Walker fight, Vin Diesel, and Paul Walker got his butt kicked. Now we're seeing his equal. Then in the next film we got Paul Walker and Vin Diesel versus a special forces guy and a guy bigger than Vin Diesel. Oh man, Paul Walker's out of here. Now we got freaking The Rock and Vin Diesel versus the Hulk. What's going on here? And then and like so the fight scenes have gotten better and better. The action for the most part has like they've delivered bigger and better stunts, and then but the story meh. But yeah, so hopefully the Matrix 4 can deliver in that department as far as like a story and potentially the action. I mean, we'll see. You know, I mean, there's plenty of time before the movie comes. I'm sure we'll get a trailer, and if the trailer is indicative of what the movie will be like, we'll probably be able to, you know, make certain assessments and assumptions based off of the trailer alone.
Yeah, they're gonna have to catch me with that trailer because right now I'm not super excited about it. I'm definitely waiting on some other movies to come out beforehand. But if they catch me with the trailer, it might jump up the board a little bit for me.
Sure. Moving on from there, we got a new Dolittle coming out. It's not actually called Dr. Dolittle. It's called Dolittle, starring Robert Downey Jr. You know, he's going to be the star of the film, and it looks very interesting. I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at the trailer that I sent you guys, but the film looks like it's going to be much more of an epic film than Dr. Dolittle ever was. You know, Dr. Dolittle seems strictly like a comic. You know, it's Eddie Murphy, and he's talking to animals and getting into some crazy adventures. You know, and then later on, I think like Kyla Pratt was Dr. Dolittle or something, or no, she started talking to animals in the second movie, and then in the third film that they had, it was like the daughter was the Dr. Dolittle now, and not Eddie Murphy anymore.
Yeah, just off the trailer, it reminded me of a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory meets Sherlock Holmes or something like that.
Yeah, it just seemed way more epic than like Dr. Dolittle ever did. I was really taken aback by that alone. I was like, man, what the heck? Like, this looked kind of tight, but I mean, like, but why does it look so tight? This guy's just gonna be talking to animals, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's gonna be the Jungle Book in America, pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, people love Robert Downey Jr., so you can't really go wrong with him as a choice, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I feel like it was wrong. See, there we go again, being negative about it, but I feel like this was the opportunity to make somebody younger, to put a young face in there. If you're going to completely reboot the movie, reboot the spectrum that you're using Dr. Dolittle for, it'd be perfect opportunity to introduce somebody, give somebody's young career a great chance. But no, you want to keep with the nostalgia, and you want to keep bringing up Robert Downey's face just to rub it in that he's not around anymore.
Hey, millennials love nostalgia, man.
That is true.
It's just like, you know, the Hercules live action they plan on making. Give someone a get a chance, but Dolittle, I haven't seen Dr. Dolittle in forever.
Facts.
I only remember the first one. I don't remember the second one at all. And the third one, I don't even think I like attempted to watch. This isn't something like I'm going to go see myself. If like Sonny wanted to go see it, yeah, sure, cool. Let's go see it. But it's something I'll wait for maybe like Netflix. I love RDJ, but it's not going to hold my interest.
Yeah.
They could have got someone, like Daniel said, someone young.
Yeah, as far as my interest, it's going to do little.
Need to get some laugh tracks going on in here and some drum machines.
What we need to do is put a Daniel pun monitor at the top of the screen.
Daniel pun. Oh man!
Every time he makes a pun, just
ding. But moving along from there, we have a new Cinderella movie coming to theaters, created by Sony. Looks like we got Camila Cabello. I think that's how you say her name. She's a musical artist. She's going to be playing the titular role of Cinderella. Billy Porter, well, this is like the kind of the most interesting thing to me. Billy Porter is actually going to be playing the fairy godmother. And of course, as we know, the fairy godmother is a woman, you know, it being fairy and godmother in there. But Billy Porter's going to play that role. And I think that's really interesting because the whole like gender bending thing, I think is like, it's okay with me.
Nah,
you know, I don't really have anything wrong
screw
with
it. I don't like the choice.
You don't like the choice?
If you're gonna do a gender bender and then still label him fairy godmother, you should have got RuPaul. That's my feelings. Billy Porter, I think they did it. Grayson Harris, I really don't care. It's just like last year when he was on the red carpet and he had a dress on and everybody was
dressed, not just the dress, that was the dress.
Everybody was blowing out of proportion. It's like, yo, who cares? Like, let him do his thing. Like, why does it matter?
Like the same thing as Young Thug, though, man. A lot of people used to call him out all the time.
I still call Young Thug out.
I mean, you're right. I mean, not myself no more. Back then, I was a little iffy about him, but now I'm just like, oh, whatever, man. It's Young Thug. Who cares? But I mean, I was just more taken aback by the role itself being, you know, given to a male. But I just think it's interesting, you know, that it's not just like on one end, like, you know, females are getting male roles or something, or like that male characters are being turned into women or anything like that, but males are getting the same treatment, you know, they're becoming female characters, or the characters getting modified. I'm sure like in the credits, it's probably not going to say fairy godmother. It might say like fairy godfather or something. Yeah. But I mean, it's supposed to be a reimagining of the story. So it's supposed to take place in modern day times, I guess. And she's going to be like an orphan that turns into a like royalty, basically. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm not really a huge fan of like Disney movies per se myself. I've went to go see a handful of live action films. I didn't see Aladdin, didn't see Lion King, don't really plan on seeing Mulan. I saw Dumbo and did not give two flying because about that.
I love how you got your own sound effect in there. I mean, it was a pretty trash one, but hey, you tried. That's all that matters.
I'm trying to just bring some creativity to the table, man. That's all I can do. That's I'm just trying, man. I'm trying. You see me out here, but yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see just kind of like how that plays out in itself. Like I would want to see at least if they're going to still give him the title of fairy godmother, like if he's going to introduce himself that way, just to see if they really cared about that, or if they just changed it kind of almost entirely and said no, he's a fairy godfather now. He's not the fairy godmother.
I mean, unless you just drop fairy godmother, father, whatever, because if it's modern day, if they just drop the whole fairy thing, your godmother, your godfather, people who take care of you, like along with your parents, or after your parents pass away, you're entrusted. What if he's just like a mentor type person that sets her up?
Or it could be like the fairy godparent.
Or a fairy godparent, yeah.
Or you could just call it a spirit guide or something like that,
Spirit guide. She's on a walkabout now.
I will say one thing. With Billy Porter being the fairy whoever, she better be flawlessly dressed the whole time.
Well, I mean,
she better come out with one of them big dresses. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, well, Billy Porter has like a history of looking pretty great at most like red carpet events. So I would hope they do the same for this.
Oh yeah,
look pretty good. And then of course at the same time make Camila Cabello like look even more extravagant. Just because that's what's supposed to happen with the character.
I mean, they probably could have got Caitlyn in there.
Oh my god!
If you wanted a layup.
You know what? Let's move on. Let's move on before we get canceled for real. Moving on from there, we have some unfortunate news. I don't know how many of you guys are fans of The Walking Dead out there. I myself am, for the most part, a fan. I haven't really been watching it lately, but Herschel Walker, who was a part of the first couple seasons, the actual actor himself, Scott Wilson, he actually unfortunately passed away at the age of 76. Like I said, most of you guys probably know him as Herschel Walker. I don't know how many other roles he has had. I'm sure he'll be missed, and maybe they might even dedicate an episode or two to him. Moving on from there, Cuba Gooding Jr. has, oh my god, I don't even know how to lead into this.
I'll say it. He turned to Tiger Woods, except for it wasn't consensual. I got you.
He out here wilding, boy.
The number is, he was trying to go for a Tiger Woods record.
Allegedly.
He was 7 off, but hey, allegedly.
They say he grabbed some girl by her breast and then told her to sit on his face and pee in his mouth.
What?
That is wild, son. First of all, what man in his right mind is saying that to his wife even? I'm not telling nobody to pee in my mouth.
Kevin Gates.
What's wrong with y'all, man?
I don't think you've been on the hub in a while, but you log on, you type in PI, that's all that you're gonna see. Evidently it's a fetish that people like to take part in.
That's wild.
But just because it ain't your cup of tea don't mean it's someone else, it's not someone else's. But if you're gonna do something, at least make it consensual.
That's like the first thing too. Make it consensual, and then the pee thing, is super wild. But absolutely, you don't have the right to just, first of all, just grab somebody, especially if multiple women are saying that he's replicated this behavior with them. Then it's just kind of like, bro, like you're obviously not doing the right thing, But I don't know.
The first one, people were like iffy because he turned himself in. Like, turn myself in, the video don't show nothing, I'm good. Nah, man, now you got 13 more saying something. It ain't looking like you too innocent, my friend.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, numbers are a hell of a thing.
What is the last movie that Cuba Gooding Jr. was even in to like be like, I'm famous, you should be with me, girl, or let me do whatever I want?
No.
I want to say he was in one of those Tyler Perry or one of them Backwood Black movies, but the major one I can really think of was he was that Navy diver. That was like the last time I was.
No, I think Radio came after Men of Honor.
Yeah, Radio.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Look how long that was.
I don't even want to think about Radio trying to get pee in his mouth. That's
the first thing that popped in your head.
Come on, man. Oh man!
I don't know what. I thought he was just being one of those celebrities, movie actors that was just like, I'm just sit down and relax and enjoy myself.
You would think so. Oh, I got it. He was. Oh my God, this is gonna sound terrible. He was O.J. Simpson.
What?
That's the last thing he was in. Was he was O.J. Simpson
Wow.
in the People versus O.J.
I can't. I can't. Wow, man.
Oh my
Just
goodness. Oh my god. That just popped into my head right now. Why would you do something like this? And oh my gosh. No wonder he was so good at that role. He out here wilding too, man. Oh my god. It's just it's deplorable behavior of course.
Ooh, that's a big word.
Smell it.
And I don't see how people aren't like learning from these lessons. Like you're seeing every other actor just get their career falling to nothing because of whether it's allegations or not. It's just like people keep coming out and like things keep being spoken about, and people are messing with this person, and the Me Too movement. And it's just like, why would you continue in this day and age to act in such a way that is harmful or detrimental to your career or like your life, for that matter? You going to prison, or you losing lots and lots of money, you losing potential jobs in the future, anything like that. I don't see how you would continue to do stuff like this and just be like, oh, it'll be all right, I ain't gonna get caught.
If you got away with it for so long, why stop now?
Because everybody else that was getting away with it for so long is getting caught now.
That's not me though. Like Taylor, everybody is blind to their own actions.
It's true.
Especially if you're seeing someone do something you do, you might not think it's wrong. But, obviously it's wrong, but to some people, they don't think it's wrong.
We don't know what's been going on behind these movie sets. This whole time before Me Too even started, before Harvey Weinstein even got outed the first time and all that. He could have been real stuck in the past. He hasn't had a movie since before all that started, I think. So, or any relevant movie that anybody cared about, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, we know what he was doing behind closed doors.
Yeah, so obviously he didn't catch the memo. Living under a rock.
He definitely didn't catch the memo. And they had an article before, and it was talking about millennials now compared to older generations. Is some things we see as wrong, they don't see as wrong. It's just like at some point in the future, someone's gonna go back and hear you say something and be like, "Wow, I can't believe they were that ignorant back then."
Oh yeah, that's always a scary.
Yeah, and 10 years from now, we might be talking the same way or doing something, and people look and it'd be like, "That's inappropriate," and be like, "How?"
Yeah,
they might have been used to like just some girl getting whatever girl they want to, and they're like, "Hey, yo, here's some money." Like, don't say nothing because it slid for them in the past. But obviously, people today are more like, "Nah, bro, that's sexual harassment. That's sexual assault. I'm not selling for this. I'm finna out you." Which, more power to them. They doing they coming forward with it.
Yeah.
I would say I definitely think his movie career is probably done at this point.
His human career is pretty much done too.
Oh well, yeah, that too. Well, they're not going to kill him, but
yeah. Maybe they'll lock him up. We'll see. It just depends on the evidence presented. Of course, we know how the justice system goes, and depending on the woman he's dealt with, if he could potentially have more money at them, and half the time that's half the battle is just the money. So it's unfortunate, but hey, what are we gonna do?
Keep talking about how much bullshit it is that people keep doing this shit, and it's like, yo, just
everybody else that's doing it gets caught.
Yeah, it's like, just stop.
Yeah.
Me personally, if I'm a bank robber and I seen everybody get caught by the police for robbing banks in a slew, I'm not robbing banks. I'm gonna sit back and let the dust settle. But that's just me. But some of these people, I do think they have an issue. They probably have a problem that they need to seek some counseling from, and they're just not being taking care of themselves, taking care of their own mental. Because I don't think any person in their right mind thinks like doing that is a good thing or it's okay. I think there's something wrong with some of these people, for real.
Yeah, these men just need to keep their hands off of women unless they're being asked to be touched by them.
And even then, don't do it, fam.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's for real consensual. Don't be alcohol is involved. Don't be trying to have no sexual relations or anything like that. Keep your hands to yourself until that person's in the right state of mind, and then they're just like, y'all alone or y'all want to do something, go ahead, sure, but don't be trying to be at no party or no clubs, wilding out like that, because the wrong message gets sent, the wrong people see it, and then next thing you know, you're on the first 48.
And no is no. If she say no right now and you come back in an hour and she keep telling you no like 10 times a day, and then she's finally like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't. That's not something you should get into.
Not a good look for sure.
Not at all. If she don't want to sit on your face and pee in your mouth, she don't have to sit on your face and pee in your mouth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and this has been another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Culture by the Uncultured. That's one word. Don't forget. Also, don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud, and subscribe to us on YouTube. That's multiple words. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, please, if you guys like the show, and leave us some comments on YouTube. Also, be sure to visit our website at www.culturedbytheuncultured.com. See you guys next time.